Hi everyone, welcome back to the school year 2021 to 2022. I know some of you are still like chilling, relaxing, and resting for your vacation and not yet ready for the modular and online distance learning. But we don't have the choice. The pandemic is still there and the cases are still rising. So therefore, welcome to the subject 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. So I will be your subject teacher for the school year 2021 to 2022. This time around, I'll be giving you the presentation of mine as we go on with our target for today, which is about the subject orientation. The subject orientation will give you the overview of what is 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world, and also rules and also some like content and performance standard that you will see and try to look into as we go on with the subject 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. Once again, welcome to the subject orientation of the subject 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world for this first semester school year 2021 to 2022. 21st century literature of the Philippines and the world really described into the literature of the Philippines way back in 21st century. But not only the Philippines, but also we're going to be talking about here the world literature and what are, the styles and how are going to critically analyze those literature and try to apply it in our daily life, and at the same time with, in terms of writing, analyzing, and also what are the things that we can learn from it. So again, welcome to the subject orientation of the 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. So here, but before I proceed with my subject orientation, let me introduce myself first. By the way, I'm Miss Maria Jessica Alcimilia, and I will be your subject teacher for the first semester, school year 2021 to 2022. To give you or an introduction of me, I got a degree of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, and I got a degree also of Master of Arts in Education, major in Language Teaching, and also got units for curriculum development for my doctorate degree. For my teaching experience, I do handle English subjects, particularly here at senior high school, but I got an experience already with teaching, grade schools, students, college students, and the junior high school students, particularly teaching English. Now, as a teacher, I'm very particular with, the use of language, but not only with that, but also I'm very particular with the values formation that my students are trying to do and trying to use and trying to show while utilizing language and while trying to apply it into different contexts. So I do believe that a man with values really has, something and meaning, So let's now move on. So we do have 2 quarters for 21st century literature. So we for the first quarter, we're going to be dealing with Philippine literature. So for the Philippine literature for the first quarter, this is the content standard, meaning the content that you're going to learn. So the learner will be able to understand and appreciate the elements and context of 21st century Philippine literature from the regions. Now, for the performance standard, meaning at the end of the quarter, you need to have a written close analysis and critical interpretation of a literary text in terms of form and theme with a description of its context derived from research, and also an adaptation of a text into other creative forms using multimedia. Now, for the most essential learning competencies, this is basically what is in the performance standard. The performance standard is basically the skill that you need to learn at the end of the quarter. So from the geographic, linguistic, ethnic dimension, representative text and authors from each region, and also more of comparing on contrasting the various 21st century literary genres, discuss how different contexts and enhance the text meaning and enriching the reader's understanding. And we do have also like you're going to produce a creative representation of a literary text by applying multimedia and ICT skills and like doing self or peer assessment of the creative adaptation of a literary text based on rationalized criteria prior to presentation. So in short, for the first quarter, these are the topics. And for the lesson exemplar 8, you're going to make your movie trailer for a certain story in the Philippine literature. It can either be an original, original output of yours, original literary text, or you just adapt it, okay? So basically, these are the course requirements of the 21st century literature, and you may just look into it with your modules that will be given to you. So let's move on for the second quarter. For the second quarter, you're going to be dealing with world literature, particularly Asia, North America, Europe, Latin America, and Africa. We're going to be dealing also here the different literary forms for world literature. Okay? So that's for the second quarter. Now for the content standard, we're going to be dealing with the learner, or you will be able to understand and appreciate literary texts in various genres across national literature and culture. And you're going to have another written close analysis and critical interpretation of a literary text in terms of form and theme with a description of its context derived from research. So expect that you're going to have more of essays, more of critical analysis of different sources, because that's really the core of 21st century literature. And you're going to have, again, a critical paper and an adaptation of a text into other creative forms using multimedia. So for the first quarter, you did the movie trailer. For the second quarter, you're going to make already the second part of it, which is the short film of your movie trailer. So that's why I'm giving you like ample of time to do it and ample of time to conceptualize it and be able to perform it. Now that it's pandemic, I know and I do understand that really, safety and risk are really out there. Everywhere. That's why I'm asking you to do some creativity and how are you going to strategize on how can you be safe at the same time you're attaining the skill. Okay, so another one is you're going to write a close analysis and critical interpretation of these representative texts from the Asia, North America, Europe, Latin America, and Africa. And you're going to compare and contrast out of it for the specific learning competencies, producing a creative representation by applying multimedia and ICT skills. That's why you're going to make a short film out of it. So these are the list of topics to be learned for the second quarter. The nature and history, Asian, North American, European, Latin American, African, and the performance task, which is about your short film. So these are the course requirements for your performance task for the second quarter. Now, how are you going to be graded? You're going to be graded into the following. Since we are still in pandemic and there's no face-to-face learning, so definitely from 100%, we're just going to be going down to 25% to 50%, which is equivalent to 75%. 25% for the written works, 50% for the performance task. Now, incorporated with your modules are your session guide, or what we call weekly home learning plan. Your weekly home learning plan includes the activities that you need to accomplish, and at the same time, the time and deadlines of those activities. That's why you need to look into your session plan or session guide, or what we call weekly home learning plan. And you need to be attentive with the deadline. I know that we are still in pandemic and we teachers are very considerate, but we need to look also on how you follow the deadlines. We can just give consideration for those people that needs to be considered. Okay, so if the reasons are valid, we can give considerations on it. But if the sake of you're just being lazy, not because and not cannot finish the deadline, I mean, that's not an excuse. That's, lame excuse only. So let's now move on. So for the class schedule, I think for your GC, I gave you already your class schedule. If your class schedule meets with my teacher schedule, that's why I'm giving you also my teacher schedule so that you will know if your schedule fits with my schedule or if there are discrepancies. So now for the class monitoring, I know you're very familiar with this one because this is our second year, our second pandemic school year. So I know you're very familiar already with asynchronous consultation hour and the synchronous consultation hour. But let just me give you a review of the synchronous consultation. For the synchronous consultation, the teacher and student will just have online consultation that can be done through video conferencing, Facebook Live, group chat, call or text, or the peer teaching. Or we can have also recitation regarding the topic as well as schedule. Like, for example, I'll call you, or we can just have a video call. Now, this applies a two-way process of distance learning because you can message me or you can talk to me and I can give you feedback at the moment. Now, for the asynchronous consultation is basically you are going to be independently learn the topic, learn the subject, and learn your module because you are going to continue studying what is on the module. Teacher may just post a video, or I can just post a video, or I can just send you a link, PowerPoint presentation, and suggest link for you to study. Now, for the class monitoring, we do have for the first week, we do have the asynchronous, second week synchronous, third week asynchronous, and then the fourth week, which is about synchronous. Now, how are you going to submit the activities? Like last year, what you're gonna do is you're going to submit your activities into drop-off point. If you don't have internet, or if you don't have the accessibility, or if there are reasons why you can't go with the Gmail, the Google Classroom, and the Messenger. For the Google Classroom, I'll be sending you your code link, okay? That's why after I sent you my orientation, I'll be giving you your Google Classroom link so that you can join the class. Now, mom, what if I'm into modular? Do I need to have Google Classroom? Yes, you need to have Google Classroom because not all the time you can have the drop off, especially if there are performance tasks that you need to upload into your Google Classroom. Another, what if in your barangay there are cases cases of COVID wherein you're one of the naka-lockdown, okay? So definitely your Google Classroom is the most accessible way on how are you going to submit the activities. And another one is about the Messenger. What's good about with Google Classroom is that you can monitor all your outputs. Kapag kasi Messenger, honestly, ayoko ng Messenger, but that's just the last resort. Lalo na kapag super bagal ng internet. Kasi pag sa Messenger, marami kasi sa akin nagme-message. You're not the only one. You're not the only class that I have. That's why that's the last resort for the Messenger. Kasi marami nagme-message, so natatabunan. So ang tendency is, pag checkin ko yung activity mo, hahanapin ko pa dun sa maraming thread, okay, of messages. So again, Messenger is the last resort. Now, we're going to have the official FB group of the subject if we needed to, okay? So these are the house rules that we're going to do for the school year 2021 to 2022. It's also the same with, the previous year for 2020 to 2021. It's just that we need to have improve way or systematic way of learning. I know you were shocked with the modular distance learning last year, and this time around, I hope you are already guided. Hindi na kayo nanganganay and kind of used to it already because you have already 1 year. I mean, this is not new to you already. So again, first, you need to follow the weekly home learning plan that will be given to you. Encrypted with that is about your module. Now, you need to be guided in our lesson using your module, okay? So if there are queries, questions with the instructions, meaning the instructions are not clear in the module, you can just message me or you can just message into your group chat if everyone can benefit from your question. Okay? So another one, make sure to finish the given task on time and submit it on the required date. You need to strictly, follow your schedule. I know some of you like having a problem mentally, physically, psychologically, and health reasons. I do understand, and I'm very considerate with that. But not for the whole semester. I mean, I can give you considerations for a few reasons or a few valid reasons because you are already adult. I mean, you can already manage that. Because if you can manage that today, how can you manage yourself in the future? Okay? So make sure to finish the given task on time and submit it on the required date. And also, now that you're getting older, I mean, you're going to be preparing yourself into college, you need to be responsible of the deadline. Okay? Hindi nyo nakasama ang inyong mga nanay going to college, and kapag nahihirapan kayo yung nanay or magsasabi kayo, because definitely you are going to be the one to solve your problems because I told you, you are already adults. Thus, hindi naman sinabi na hindi dapat kayo magsabi sa inyong mga magulang. Ang sinasabi ko lang ay, if you can solve it by yourself, why can't you? I mean, if you can't already and you need guidance, you can just talk to me. Okay? Anyway, hindi naman ako suplada or you can communicate with me, your messenger, and also your GC. Okay? So that to avoid the problems. Again, kung nahihirapan kayo sa subject, you can just talk to me, you can just message me, or you can just call me. Okay? Mas mahirap kung mahihiya kayo. I mean, you cannot solve the problem if mahihiya kayo. In the near future, dala-dala nyo yung ugaling yan. So, that's it. Another one, no other distractions. Okay? So, no other distractions. I mean, if it's online class or modular distance, you go with the deadline. I mean, you go with the schedule. The schedule that is given to you from, like, for example, if it's 7 to 9, you finish your work at 7 to 9. Okay? Don't go with ML. I know some of you are very into your Mobile Legend. I do understand that because that's one way of how you chill. But you need to set your priorities. If it's class, it's class. If it's play, it's play. Okay? So set your priorities and time management because kapag hindi nyo naayos ang inyong time management, definitely magkakaroon kayo ng cramming with work. Ang tendency, makakagawa na din kayo ng hindi magaganda. Like pangongopya, pagpapalit lang ng pangalan dun sa mga sagot ng iba, and then isasubmit nyo na. Okay? Here, this year, we are going to be very particular with the activities that you are submitting. As we see with last year, pinapalitan nyo lang yung pangalan, tapos yung sagot ay the same with other classmates. Okay? So parang 5-10 magkakaparehas. Understand? So you need to be very particular with that. Because if you're ang peg dito or what's this? Here in senior high school, we're not just giving you the knowledge that you need. Okay? But we are giving you the knowledge on how are you going to survive to college and into your future job. Now, kung ang inyong pag-aaral ay banjing-banjing lamang at kalokohan lamang, definitely, you're not gonna be surviving your college life. Not only with that, you're not gonna be surviving your future job in the future if you want to have a job and if you want to have a success. Okay? So, kaya hindi pwedeng paputyo-putyo lang. Lalo na if the course that you are going to choose in the near future requires what? Requires board examination and lots of examination that, skills and your knowledge are very in need. Okay? So another one is you need to find your comfortable place for study. Make sure that it is safe and free from any distractions. Okay? So that you can have a focus and you can learn the topic by yourself, or you can also ask from your classmates about the topic but not copy their answer. Just ask them if you can't understand the topic. You can have peer teaching, you can have peer learning, and that's fine, okay? As long as you learn, not just by copying, okay? Next one, check your signal and power source if we're going to have Google Meet. As much as possible, avoid multitasking. Focus on the task and discussion. Because if you do, I do also multitasking, and that's fine. If you have the skill already of multitasking now, but if you don't have, I think you're gonna be having a problem with focusing yourself. Okay, so you can post your question in the comment section for this video, or you can just comment into our GC, or you can just reserve to ask if it after this lesson presentation, or the lesson presentation about our topic for 21st century literature. Now, if you have comments, if you have questions or suggestions, you can message me directly, or you can message the group chat, or you can just, put down your comment here at this video. So another one is always open your line for communication to your teacher or classmate. Kasi baka magkaroon ng panibagong instructions kasi hindi man maintindihan yung instructions sa module. So si teacher, i-modify yung instructions. That's why we are very particular that you are always to be called and always to be, interact with your gadgets and mobile cell phones, or kung wala naman kayong mobile cell phones or gadgets, and I do understand that lalo na ngayong pandemic, mahirap ang pera, you can just ask your classmates about the updates of what is happening into your group chat para madali. Okay? Another one, always follow the health protocols when receiving and submitting your modules to your cluster center, because your safety is our #1 priority. Okay? Another one is you need to participate with full focus with manners. I'm very particular with this one, lalo na sa inyong pag-chat and lalo na sa inyong pagkausap. Okay? So, I know we are still into our modular distance learning, but you need to, still have the values formation as you go on with modular distance learning. Kausapin, i-chat ng maayos ang teacher, kasi kaming mga teacher, hindi naman kami magre-react ng bonggang-bongga na hindi maganda kung maganda ang inyong pagkausap sa chat. So para hindi kayo matarayan ng inyong mga teacher, ayusin ang salita, ayusin ang pagkausap sa inyong teacher. Okay? Nang may respeto. Ang kausap ninyo ay teacher, hindi ang estudyante o hindi ang kaibigan. So you need to participate with full focus with manners. Now, even if hindi mo kausap ang teacher mo sa group chat at ang kausap mo lang ay kaklase mo, you still need to have manners. Okay? Especially to avoid misinterpretation at para walang stress kasi nagbibigay kayo ng bigat sa loob. Okay? So another one is always have a backup for all your outputs. Nagkakaroon kasi tayo ng problema in terms of nawawala yung output. Kasi may mga cases na nawawala yung output because of the drop-off, and we do understand that. But the problem is, may mga cases naman na nawawala daw ang output, pero ang totoo naman, hindi talaga gumawa. Kesyo lang nawawala. Okay? So, that's why, for this school year, para sure tayo na hindi nyo uulitin ang inyong output, You need to take a picture of all your outputs that you have submitted to your drop-off. Kaya nga maganda din na kayo ay naka-Google Classroom kasi yun talaga hindi mawawala unless hindi yun na-upload. That's why, again, always have a backup for all your outputs kasi baka rin yan ay ma-virusan. You know, your flash drive and whatsoever. Another, always ask questions when needed para hindi kayo naliligaw at hindi kayo nasa-stress, hindi kayo nagrereklamo. Make sure that you always ask questions kung kinakailangan. Baka wag lang yung super nonsense na question, okay? But we welcome questions kasi yung questions will really lead to, you know, learning. Ang mga hindi nagtatanong, hindi natututo. Another one, no recycling of outputs. Like last year, I think some of the activities were the same this year. And I know ang inyong mga kalokohan, some of you will do the recycling of outputs. So definitely no recycling of outputs. You know what to do. Okay? Another, no copying of outputs. Lalo na yung mga pinapalitan lang ang mga pangalan ng mga document tapos ipapasa sa Messenger or i-upload sa Google Classroom. Okay? Another, lalo na may mga boyfriend na pinapakopya, no copying of outputs. Alam niyo yon, yung hindi niyo na nga sa inyo pero binabalandran niyo pa sa iba, 'di ba? Parang ang pangit tingnan. Another, be happy. I hope this school year no more stress. No more like posting into your Facebook that this school year is so stressful like that. I guess I do understand that it is really stressful. But as I have told you, happiness is a choice. Now, if you choose to be happy, you're gonna be happy. If it doesn't go that way, then you just pray. And, you know, we're gonna have a, you know, peaceful heart. And that's the goal for this school year. Peaceful heart with happy learning. So, like Secretary Briones, the mother of the Department of Education, education cannot wait. If the way of learning like last year ay tinapos or like we did not pursue that, definitely pandemic is still there. So, are we going to have 2 years of no graduates? No learning. That should not be for the Department of Education. So education cannot wait according to Secretary Briones. So I want to end our subject orientation with the following quote. Train your mind to see the good in everything. Positivity is a choice. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So I like complaints, but make sure that it is a constructive complaint. Okay? And I like you like questioning and all, that's fine with us. But just make sure that you have a quality of thoughts to be discussed to your teacher. Okay? So ayoko nung nasa-stress ang ating mga bata and ayoko rin nasa-stress kayo because you and I want to have, a good relationship until the end of the school year 2021 to 2022. So I hope you, for the 21st century literature of the Philippines and the world will, learn from this subject and will have a happy learning until the end of the semester for this school year 2021 to 2022. So I hope you stay safe and be happy. So that would be all, everyone. So bye-bye. And I hope we will see each other face to face in time. Bye-bye. By the way, this is my information. And this is my number and also my email where you can send your output. Okay. And later on, I'll be sending to you your Google link or code link for your Google Classroom. Bye-bye, everyone. Stay safe.